I made a shocking discovery today when I was hanging out over at MEUK's Discord server.
Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, sound level.
Good night.
See you later. Nice having you. Helping us explain to people. Some of the videos that we've done with Brad have been quite good, haven't they?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
A child who imagines being an astronaut.
How's that?
Because
You
you
said
said
you're
it
not
was
sure.
only level at point A. Only
that
level
is-
and horizontal at point A.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. So
Then you
how
said you
does
weren't
that
sure.
work with the water level?
If you look at my picture, if it's flat, then it's the same all the way along.
Like I don't if I look
If
at
it's
your
curved-
picture,
If it's curved, then it's not all the way along.
okay, right. So if what's not all the way along?
Level and horizontal.
Are you imagining there's two different ones, do you? Can you manipulate the level by the surface underneath it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Pardon, yeah, you cut out then.
I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Oh. Oh. So you like possibly? Do you want to go with possibly? You think you
I'm not
might
sure what you
possibly be able to manipulate the water level by altering the surface underneath it?
No, then the water would just raise.
The water would what? You keep
The
cutting out.
water would just raise, or it would just raise up or lower if you move the level. The water.
So it
level.
would stay level on the top of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you raised it up, it would just. It would lower in there.
Yeah, if we chucked a like a rock, a square rock into the water, there wouldn't be like a square rock shaped bit on the top of the surface of the water, would it?
No.
No.
My battery's dying.
Oh, it's a pity.
Well, you have to come back when you're ready for real, Cajun.
Yeah.
Make sure you charge your battery.
Have you ever gotten to the actual equipment with him yet, or just we're still on geometry?
Yeah, he's still on the he's fictional. I mean,
Oh,
he
okay.
I think he's one of these ones that's regressed back to only at a point. So we have to go back to the basics, like we have to do with the logic. Like we have
Right.
to go right back to the basics of geometry again to get him to define a point.
Gotcha.
At one point,
Yeah, but what is a point to you?
one spot.
What's a spot? Please define a spot.
See, he's doing that thing again where he's using synonyms
Yeah,
to try
yeah.
and define. You got to use
Yeah.
the definition, dude.
You can't level
Well,
a point. You have to level
Earlier,
the distance.
earlier, Bev said at point A.
Yeah.
But Bev also defined what a point is. Or...
I can't say point A.
There's a vertical, right? And at the point, there is a line that is perpendicular to it. So at the point, and right at that point, there is an intersection of a horizontal and a vertical at the point of the intersection. right?
I
The
agree.
line
I
is
agree.
defined by vertical, and the point is defined by where the horizontal is.
I agree with you.
Okay. So it's an intersection then, right? Is that what you're having? A point is a place where two lines intersect. That would be my definition within that particular thing. Is that what you're saying a point is? Or are you going to
Yeah, I'd say that'd
maybe
be it.
change?
The point where the two lines intersect.
Intersect, okay. So what were you going to talk about? A tangent?
I was going to say a horizontal is only at one point. It's only level at one point.
Can you level just a point, or do you have to level a distance?
No, you have to level like a. You
Yeah.
can't level a point.
Yeah, it has to be like no higher at either end of the line, right? You can't do that to a point. You can't say a point is even and balanced and not higher at one end than the other, because it's a nothing, right? So you can't level a point like that. You need a line in order to say one end isn't higher than the other. There's no slope. There's no angular descent or ascent on the line.
Yeah, the line is level, not the point.
No, you would have to have 2 points at the end of the line that were not higher than each other. Right? Not a point, but 2 points along a line.
Are you talking about a level line?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Between 2 points, or none higher than the other. Yeah?
Yeah, that'd be a level line,
Sweet.
but not horizontal.
Well, if it was perpendicular to a vertical, it would be, wouldn't it?
Not on my model.
What's your model?
Look at my picture where it says curve.
Yeah? That one
That's
that's
my
got
model.
the horizontal shooting up in the air. It's like it's definitely on the right hand side of that line there. Is that higher than the left hand side?
I got a question for you. Is the water levels level?
I don't know what.
Wait a second. Why can't you keep on track? He did ask a question. Clarification.
You've got.
I'm
You
trying
do have
to.
a line marked horizontal it's higher at one end.
I'd like to put a line on there that says level.
What's the line? What's the horizontal
You put
line
a level on
horizontal?
there and labelled it level. You put it
I
on the
said-
horizontal line. You labelled horizontal. You've got a level
Yeah.
on it.
And I told you earlier I should remove that level and just put like a 90
Why?
degree. Well, I meant to say it was level at point A.
But you haven't even labelled A on that bottom one.
Yeah, you have to look above. I have to draw a new picture.
Are you modifying things on the fly here,
Are you
Brad?
saying at 1 mile there's a 2-inch drop, and at 2 miles there's a 8-inch drop?
No, 1 mile, 8 inches.
But that looks like a raise of the horizontal rather than a drop of the... Like, what's
Yeah,
dropping?
It looks totally crooked.
The Earth is curved.
You
the
kept
point A doesn't
saying
even-
that the other day. That was brilliant. I like it. And you
Point
said
A
that.
doesn't even look like it's a 90 degree.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
It's just a hand-drawn sketch. It's not accurate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. You've got a
Imagine it.
horizontal raising up.
Yeah, horizontal would be flat and level.
Perpendicular to a vertical.
I would think so.
And a
90 degrees.
vertical is like straight up and down, right? If you imagine holding a plumb bob.
How about that one?
Where did you get the curve in that picture, too, by the way?
Hypothesis for a curve. See, yeah, we saw this one the other day. This is the hybrid.
Yeah, I took the
This is
level off.
Kozlowski, Nutsack, McToon, Walter Bislin hybrid model.
I took the level off on this one, and I put 90-degree markers on A. And then I put another water level all the way to the end to C.
Okay. So I would imagine that all the way along that horizontal line, you could do a perpendicular, and you'd be able to call that vertical, wouldn't you?
Oh, you cut out there. I didn't catch it all.
When that horizontal line that you've got going from left to right all the way across, you could do a perpendicular anywhere along that line and label that vertical, couldn't you? Because it would be perpendicular to a horizontal.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It
not
wouldn't be
sure?
at 90 degrees.
What do you mean?
Like,
yeah, horizontal
like
and vertical are at 90 degrees. They're perpendicular.
but like pole B, that's not 90 degrees to the horizontal line.
What? Why is that? I mean, surely vertical and horizontal are at 90 degrees to each other, right? The right angles. They are perpendicular.
Only on A.
No, they're everywhere.
But if you go down that horizontal,
And it doesn't matter where you are.
if you go down that horizontal line till B, it's not 90 degrees anymore. That's not vertical.
Yes, it is. Like, if you stand at B, a vertical is 90 degrees or right angles perpendicular to horizontal. That's right.
Do you see the picture I just put in there? That's kind of what I'm saying. Each line has its own horizontal.
There's no... like, you can put a horizontal at any place on a vertical, can't you?
Sure.
Yeah. So...
But on a sphere, every point has its own horizontal.
Sorry?
A has its own horizontal, B has its own horizontal, and C has its own horizontal.
Right, well, you know how surveyors work?
Not really.
Well, like, you know, like a horizontal, that is it's not a line on a piece of paper, is it? It's like a position in reality. Surveyors use the horizontal when you are taking... Have you ever used a sextant?
No.
No. Do you know what a sextant is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Or you best say yeah, because...
It measures an angle to a light in the sky.
Okay, so there's an angle from one position, and then it's not usually upwards, right, with a sextant. I mean, that's how a sextant works. You put the bottom line and you sort out a calculation of how high you are above the... You work out like an altitude, normally, because you're on a boat, so it's not usually that far. Because you don't use them on land, but that's what you do, and then you adjust that to make the bottom of the angle on the horizon, right? So we call that's the straight line on the bottom. Call it a horizontal, if you will, and then you measure the angle, the incline up to whatever it is you're looking at.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's your angle between the horizontal upwards. it's never at an angle. Like that horizontal is it's perpendicular to the vertical.
Yeah, like on my picture, they're all perpendicular to the. But each point has its own vertical.
Right,
Or
well,
A has its own.
surveyors, they're looking through a device called a. Let's keep it simple, right? Well, we'll start off with a level. You know what an auto level is?
Yeah, I've heard of one. I've
Right.
never seen one in person.
Okay, well, it just takes a horizontal. It just gets set, and it auto sets a horizontal. Now, you keep talking about
Yeah,
a
does it?
point, don't you? Now, it
I
has
like that
crosshairs on it. Right, so them crosshairs look out. Now, I don't know if you've ever actually, you say you've never even seen one, so. But like, you can look out through that and keep pretty accurately to a millimetre over about, I don't know, 75, 80. I mean, my level, I reckon I could get 100 metres, but I mean, to keep it proper accurate, let's say 50 metres.
That's pretty good, huh?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty good level. It's only cheap, but George doesn't like it because he says it's not light enough, the images, but I don't know what he meant by that. I mean,
Well,
it's
he's
not
trying to make videos. I think he's trying to make videos with that.
with an auto level. I mean, it's the wrong type of equipment. He'd be better off with a camera or something. Get a P1000, right?
He puts a camera behind it. And
Yeah, I know. We've done that. I mean, we can do that with a little tiny camera, but I mean, the eyepiece is tiny on an auto level. I mean, I don't know how you would put a camera on it. You need a tiny camera to be able to put on something like that.
I've got an idea.
What, of putting a...
I'd like me and George to come and participate in your test.
Wow, you and George. You know George.
Secondhand.
Second hand, no George. Well, that's nice of you to invite yourself and George to come and participate in this test. Where is it you say you live?
USA.
Wow, that's a big trip. 2 of you?
Oh, yeah. It'd be a blast.
Wow. Sounds like you're keen to come and do this. I mean, what do you reckon to that, gods?
George invited himself, remember, on MC Tunes? He
George
said,
invited
if you pay
himself.
half, he would go.
Yeah. George is, did you hear him? He's not in a very well mental state. Poor fella. You shouldn't be taking George's word for anything. I mean, did you hear him with the sighting 30 millimeters
George is
through an auto level, and he said he could only get it accurate to a centimeter. He's not a man. He's not a well guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Did you hear the one where I called the that company up about that auto level?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, they confirmed that it was, in fact, much more accurate than the Leica, the one that cost more. And at half the price, like...
Is that the one where it said...
Are you going to be able to pay your own way or do you want Bev to pay half your way too? Like maybe he could pay half a whole bunch of people's way.
Bev shouldn't have to pay for anybody.
Well, you just said George to pay half George's way. I'm wondering, are you looking for the same deal? Like maybe you and George are looking for a half paid vacation, or what's the story here?
That'd be great if...
They're keen on doing this, watching this test, right?
Yeah. So how are you going to get there? Are you going to pay your own way, or you want Bev to pay your way too?
Are you going to catch the Rumpus one as well? You coming down to watch that? I mean,
To Australia? Is he going to Australia?
No, he's doing the Bedford thing.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's going to let us know because he wants us to go and watch him doing the Bedford.
I wish I had money to do all this, but I don't.
Oh. Well, like, you live in a bigger country. You must have loads more money and loads more people over there, right? I mean,
Well, I get a lot of money
it
from
seems
NASA.
a shame that you're having to focus on us in the UK. I mean, it's only hosepipe, right?
Did you catch that? I get a lot of money from NASA.
Brilliant. What's that
Still
meant to
check.
mean? Fantastic. Well, why don't you do it then? You could write it up and everything. Be dead easy. I mean, George has got all of these tools. Jesse Kozlowski is the one that started all of this. Well, he didn't start it all, but he's the guy on your side that said the water level drops down from horizontal at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared. He said that.
We're
Jesse.
on the same page.
And he said it's measurable. Oh, yes. It's measurable.
I believe him.
Were his words.
I believe him.
Well, you don't need to
I
come
think that's
over
what
here. I mean, like, all of that money that you would spend coming over here, right? You could just buy some hosepipe and get George over with his auto level or whatever, all of his different levels. He must have a few. I bet loads of people have bought him all loads of kit, haven't they?
Didn't Sly do a hose test or a water? Sly Sparking.
Yeah, it leaked all over the place. And then he's got another one that's 16 100 metre water levels. He's called it the bending water level experiment, he calls it. An experiment. So he's going to put 16 100 metre. I mean, we did the 100 metres. And turns out it matched the horizontal on the auto level through the crosshairs.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there was no drop. Weird.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
Not at all.
What? You don't believe that a water level establishes a horizontal, or the auto level establishes the horizontal, or that both of them matched each other? What?
The water level would drop away from the horizontal.
Well, in your imagination or on your model?
Both.
Or both. Both in your model and in your imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What about in reality?
In reality, all the above.
Okay. Did you see that new dude on Twitter earlier that said that the distance it would drop over that 100 meters will be 1.8 centimeters?
No, I didn't see that.
No. What do you reckon to that? Is that some good maths?
Yeah, I'm not sure. How far is 100 meters? What is that in feet?
Sorry? How many feet do you have in a mile? We have 1,609 meters. You have 5,200. Is it 5,270?
Yeah, I kind of go by feet. I don't work in meters, but
yeah, but I'm just
all the
going
same.
over a mile, right? So we have 1,609 meters, and you have five. How many is it to a mile? Feet?
5,000. What'd you say? 200?
I don't
5,500?
know. I mean, I was asking what is it for you? I mean, you work in feet, right? We don't.
Yeah, it's a little over 5,000.
A little over 5,000, or more like 5,270.
5,270. Sounds good.
Is it? I'm not sure.
I could look it up. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah, I would, just to make sure, because you don't want to be taking my word for anything, do you? I mean, I can't be right about anything. You definitely make
But when
sure you don't want to.
when
You
you
don't
said
wanna be
100
taking-
meters, you said 100 meters. It felt like one.
So that's like a
something
16th.
centimeters.
Right, it's the 16th of the total distance.
I couldn't answer that because I don't know them measurements.
Yeah. Well, could you work out a 16th of your 5,200 and whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do that.
It's normally about 3, right? But be out about 300 feet, something like that, you reckon?
So you did it.
I reckon. There's about 3 foot something, isn't there, in a metre? 3'3". Weird, that. 33.
Did you say you did a test of 100 meters?
Yeah, we did a 100-metre water level, put the level in the middle, so we did 50 metres either side. It turns out it was matches it perfectly. And then we put the level, auto level, at one end and sighted both of them again horizontal, both of them, bang on. And then we moved the auto level 60
level?
metres past. And
See, I think you have
we
horizontal
matched
and level confused.
Oh,
Horizontal's not level on both ends.
Sorry?
Horizontal and level aren't the same on both ends. I think you have it confused.
Okay. We start again. There is a water level, right? It's a tube filled up with water.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what a water level.
Right, so we fill it up with water, and the water within that level equalizes. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you're with us. Right, now, in the middle of that 100-metre water level, we have an auto level. Yeah? The piece of equipment that surveyors use, and the one that George Nutsack decided he wanted to just sort of slaughter it, but then I called the
You
firm
call him
up.
Nutsack, huh?
Pardon?
Is that his name, Nutsack?
I think so, isn't it? Isn't that how you pronounce it? It's got a funny spelling, I know, but it's just easy.
I thought it was something different, like Kozłowski or something.
Who? No, that's not George. Are you sure you've got...
Nutsack?
what? Yeah, do you know... Have you got people mixed up? George?
Oh, you're talking George Han...
Yeah, we were talking with George. Yeah.
That's Nutsack.
Yeah, are you getting confused?
Yeah, I thought you meant Kozłowski.
Yeah, that's not George, though, is it? Because that's who we're talking
That's
about.
Jesse. Jesse, sorry.
Yeah.
I had it wrong.
Yeah. So we're talking about George, right? Or do you want to talk
George.
about Jesse?
No, Nutsack.
Yeah. Okay.
What is it, Hanek or Hanchet? How do you say that last name?
Nutsack.
Hanek? Nutsack. Nutsack.
Nutsack. Something like that. I don't know. Well, he ruined well, he tried to say that it was a bad level, but I called him up, and yeah, they confirmed that it was their most accurate level for establishing a horizontal. So you put that in the middle of the water level, right?
Why do you have it in the middle?
Because this is the test. If you let me
I know,
walk
but
you,
why would
if
you
you
put
let
it-
me, if you let me walk you through the test and how it works, right? So we
sure.
have a water level, and the water level equalizes at each end of a 100-meter water level. So in the middle, at 50 meters from each end, we put an auto level, which establishes a horizontal plane of reference. Yeah, you with us?
At point B.
In the middle of the water level.
We'll call it point B.
Okay, you can do it. It's there, right? So it establishes a horizontal. Now we look at one end and we move the water level, or fill the water level, so that it is on the crosshairs. Yeah? So as you're looking through it, you are looking through to look at the level of the water within the tube at one end.
Yeah, you're creating a level line, not a
You-
horizontal.
The auto level is a tool for establishing a horizontal line or plane of reference. The auto level. Now we are just looking at one end of a water level with water in it, and we are making the water at the level of the crosshairs of the horizontal crosshair of the auto level. Yeah? It's not hard. I mean, anybody can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can do that.
Then what we do is we turn the auto level through 180 degrees, and we look at the other end of the water level. It's on the crosshairs. Not surprisingly to us, but I mean, is that sound?
Yeah, it's kind of sounds surprising to me.
It sounds surprising.
Really, you're only doing a 50-meter test.
Yeah, but what would you expect to see on the other side of the water level if you were in the middle? What exactly would you expect to see? I mean, you said you'd sound surprised that it would be.
How much would it drop in 50 meters? How much would you expect?
The auto level's in the middle of the water level. And what we've done is, at one end, we've adjusted the water level by adding a little bit of water to make it so the water rose to the horizontal line in the crosshair. Yeah? And then we've just turned the auto level round 180 degrees, and now we're looking 50 meters in the opposite direction at the other end of the water level. Now, it was on the crosshairs. You said you were surprised that
I would think it would drop a little bit.
Okay.
I'd have to calculate how much it would drop in 50 meters.
But like I say, we have just sighted the other end and filled the water up, so it was on the horizontal. Why over the other end do you imagine it would drop? The horizontal line is being set in the middle. Are you imagining a tilt somewhere along the water level?
Yeah, a curve.
So you're already imagining a tilt within the water level over 50 meters either side of a tool that sets a horizontal.
I would expect it to curve a little.
Okay. But
do you have a video of this where I could look at it?
No. Well, there is a video, but I think Emma's got it. We did it live when we were in here.
The only people expecting the water to be drop on either side are the hardcore.
No, Jeremy, it's not either side. You didn't hear. You must have missed the beginning bit. So
he just said he expected the water to.
Yeah, but let me explain. We have a water level, a 100-meter water level, right? And then in the center of that water level, I heard. We've got an auto level. So we look at one end, and then we adjust the water level so it matches the horizontal hairs. Then we turn the auto level through 180 degrees, and Brad imagines that there would be a drop.
Yeah, he must be a hardcore glober.
Well, I mean, I don't even know. It's not even the either globe model. That's It's
Yeah,
got
that's
to
some
be
globe-
horizontal already, Brad. I mean, you're
No, that's some globe
manufacturing a
shit.
drop from nowhere.
That's some globe shit, Bev.
Yeah.
He still has a
Everyone-
problem distinguishing geometries.
Yeah. Right, but after we've done that, Brad, right, you've calculated whatever you've calculated, a different drop. But then what we do is we pick the auto level up, and like you can get 0.7 of a meter, let's say 2 or 3 foot, right? So you can put the auto level 2 or 3 foot away from one end of this water level, and then you can sight the one that's really, really, really close. Let's say we've gone to the one that you imagined there was a drop on, and we've gone and we've sighted that one this time. Then we have to adjust the water level so it is actually on the hair, on the one that's really close, and then we look all the way to the one at the other end, so that's at 100 meters, Brad. What would you imagine happens to the water level within the crosshairs of the auto level when you're 100 meters away now? Not 50, 100.
I would guess it would curve a little bit.
And what would you see through the crosshairs?
A level line, maybe?
You'd see a horizontal crosshair through the thing, right? But we've just set it at the same level. We've set the horizontal, the crosshairs, so they're at the same level, the same horizontal. They're in the crosshair, they're right there. But these ones are really, really close to the auto level this time. So it's dead easy to get it spot on. Then we just turn it to look at the other one 100 meters away.
Bev, you're blowing my mind right now, because if you kept doing this back and forth, it'd be crazy. I see where you're going.
Well, this was step 2. We did this live on here, right, Brad? So what happens? I'll tell you what happened. It was bang on in the middle of the hairs again, because it's the water level is until for establishing horizontal, just like the auto level is.
He thought it was going to drop if it kept but if it kept dropping, eventually you would have you keep having to lower the thing every time to get it to the. I don't know. It's crazy.
So what we
I
did,
think what you're doing,
what we
You're
did,
almost there.
what we did then, Brad. Right, once we've done that 100 meters, what we did was picked it up, picked the auto level up, and went 60 meters away. And we did the same again. We sighted the first one at 60 meters and filled the water, made it match the horizontal again. And then we looked at the other one that was 160 meters away now. What do you think it happened, Brad? Do you want to have a guess?
it was level.
Yeah. Yes, on the horizontal. Same horizontal as well.
See, I think you have horizontal mixed up.
Yeah?
Every point has its own horizontal.
No,
Are
he
you
just
going-
told you the water was.
Yeah, we just
Or
matched
the
all
water
of
and
those lines.
No, the
Horizontal
water
and
is-
level. You're mixed up.
No, not really.
Yeah.
He
Well,
just
what-
told you horizontal.
At one point,
Sorry, it's horizontal. A horizontal is a line, Brad. I mean, we did this before.
yeah, I'd have to see your test. I think you're doing a level line.
What to you is a level line? Please describe a level line.
Equal distance from the surface.
From the surface?
No.
Hey, Bev,
Yeah.
No point
be
higher
good-
than the other.
would it be good to go over the foresight and backsight? or is that still too far?
Oh, yeah, he's not. Well, we're just trying to establish that to get him to understand what level is, and you said no point higher than another.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got a curve with a hump, would the top of the hump be higher than the bottom of the hump?
No.
No.
From the surface, it'd be the same distance.
From the surface?
From the surface.
But the hump is the surface, isn't it? Isn't the hump in the surface, isn't...
Let's say 4 inches above the surface all the way along. That's level.
So what if the surface is on a 45 degree incline?
That changes a little bit.
What changes what?
I don't know. I'd have to draw it up. I don't think that would be correct.
Because if there was a hump, wouldn't there be like an incline going up and up and up until it stops? And when you're on the top, then there'd be a decline going down, down, and get more and more. So there would be an incline-decline sort of thing, rather than just 45 degrees in one. You know, it would be a constantly changing thing. Like this, if the surface was like that. I think your understanding of level and horizontal is a bit skewed. There's something confusing you there, Brad. I think you've got a model.
I think you're confused.
Blocking your reality check.
See, I believe level can curve and you don't, so we don't understand.
I know level
plane.
can't curve.
It does.
Well, only in your imagination, Brad. Only in your imagination.
In the globe model, it does.
Well, again, only in your imagination, Brad.
No, it's reality.
No, the model is a model and it's fictional.
Nope.
Bev. Bev.
Reality.
Go through.
Is he about
Hold
to
on,
sing?
dude. Go through the molotov with the water.
I don't.
No, I'm not going through that.
He can't do logic.
He can't do logic.
No,
Oh, okay. That's sad.
I don't do modus tollens. I don't believe in that.
you don't believe in it. Believe in that magic. Is it?
Believe in me, P. If not, you're a Q.
You know, you're starting to sound like Hippity Hop.
Who's that?
He's starting to sound like that Hippity Hop that came here a long time ago. How many soccer accounts you got, buddy?
I think he's with Geistview and Fight the Flat. He's a member of Fight the Flat Earth. He pays.
I don't have sock accounts. I'm me. I'm Brad.
I don't
Okay.
think that's not hippity. I don't think.
No. I mean,
Sound
does
close enough.
hippie
Well, hold up.
member?
It's starting to all sound alike.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you reading off the same script as them?
Nope. I just go off reality.
Do you? But you, in your reality, you imagine that level curves.
100%.
100%. How do you describe a curve, Brad?
It's what you live on.
Yeah, no.
Hey.
Can you please, because you say level is a curve, but I mean, if it's that is the base of all measurements, right? Is the level. So you must be able to describe the curve that level is very, very well, because it must be known. I mean, you surely have been taught.
I thought you'd been taught. Didn't you take like 2?
Yeah, but I say it's horizontal.
They should have taught
I
you
can prove you
level
to you.
is curved.
I can
Didn't they
prove to
teach you
you
that?
level is horizontal. Right, and it's a very
At one
definite
point.
thing with all measurements and known 2 reference frames, vertical and horizontal. Your X
Did you
and your
sleep during
Y
your class?
axis. Yeah.
You did
It's
sleep during your
It's
classes?
taught
Is
at
this
school.
is it time? Is it time for ad homs?
Yeah. So
He should just know this.
Please, Brad, please describe level that you've been taught in the form of a curve, please. In fact, forget about level. Just describe a curve, please. Simply.
I don't know. It follows a curved path
What?
around a circle.
No, you can't. That's circular. You can't just describe it as a curve. You're describing a curve. Come on. Like, pretend I'm a child at school. You know, like a really young child. Please describe a curve.
Well, it's kind of like going around a corner. Does that make sense?
Dude, I could do a better job than this. Do you want me to like be
No,
pretend to be a Glober or
no,
help him?
please, no, please don't.
Now we're down to word games again. I don't.
No,
play word
I want
games.
Brad
What?
to describe a simple curve, please. You can use numbers as well if you want. I mean,
No, I'm not
No.
going to describe a simple curve.
oh,
I'm not going to play
Here's
your
a-
word games.
it's not a word game, Brad. I mean, this is
Yes, it is.
It's not. It's pretty simple, sort of basic, fundamental, first principle sort of stuff, right? Describe a straight line, describe a curve, points, lines. Brad, you've struggled on all of these. Do you not have like a fundamental foundation base on any sort of geometrical understanding? I mean, there's nothing wrong with being geometrically illiterate. I think most people would admit that they don't really understand this sort of stuff. I mean, nobody's ever asked them these sort of questions before, and it
is he challenged?
comes as a surprise.
I'm not a math wizard.
You don't have to be a math wizard. Nobody's asking. This is the fundamental understanding of the. I mean, because you describe everything within geometry, like shapes and figures, right? It's all a geometrical understanding. So, do you not think it's a little bit strange that you struggle to describe a curve and a straight line and your understanding of what level is?
I think it's weird you can't envision a curve.
I know what a curve is. I can see a curve and I can understand the geometry of a circle. What I have a problem with, Brad, is trying to understand that model and conflate it with reality, which is what you do. I don't do that. I just take reality as it is. I don't conflate it with any model or anything. I just sort of say, well, vertical is perpendicular to horizontal. And they're the two reference frames we use. One of them is a plumb bob. The other one is the tool is called a level for establishing a horizontal.
At one point.
It's no.
So what exactly is 1 point? What exactly is 1 point?
Look, do you have my picture? And
Which is
no?
Brad,
Can you describe it?
Can we just
look at my picture?
Look at the water level. Which point is that water level establishing a horizontal at? Which, because you've got two, haven't you? You've got two water levels in that picture.
At A.
At A. The one that goes from B to C. That is the horizontal for that one at A.
Can you agree that each point has its own horizontal?
No, because it's a water level. It is a tool for establishing.
I'm not talking about the water level. I'm talking about the horizontal.
I'm talking about
There's a
I'm
horizontal for
talking
A.
about the water
There's a
level.
horizontal
It's
for
a
B.
tool.
There's a horizontal for C. Can you say that
No.
each has its own horizontal?
No, because the water
Oh.
level, you see, has this equalization thing, right? That no
That's where you're
point
wrong.
at each bit of the water level is higher than the other. It's sort of what you do is you imagine the water level, the little bits at the top of the water there, right? That's 2 points along a horizontal. You can draw a line between those because neither end of the water is higher than the other one. They are both on the same level. Would you agree with that, Brad? Of a water level, the tool. It has 2 ends. Now it doesn't really
A
matter.
water level will curve.
Sorry?
Gravity makes the water level curve.
Sorry?
Did you see my picture I put in there?
What did you just say? Can you please describe what you just said?
Gravity will make the water level curve. Just like the water on the globe.
Yeah. How does it act in order to make it curve? Please describe.
Do you see my picture I just put in there?
Wow, did you take that?
No, I didn't take it.
You said my picture.
The one I put in there.
Yeah. Okay.
The water there is curving.
Right.
Just pretend that's a whole bunch of water levels all the way along. They're all water levels. They curve.
Vertical.
I don't care what you call it.
A vertical water level. Brad.
Water
come on.
curves because of gravity.
Brad, come on. A vertical water level is what the picture you've just shown us. Seriously.
It's word games.
What?
You're playing word games again.
What, by pointing out that you've just shown us a vertical water level?
It's the globe.
Is that a vertical, like a testicle? Or is that it's that.
That's just silly.
That's
silly.
a globe. A globe's a model, right?
Reality.
What, you think a model is reality?
No, that picture is reality.
To you?
No, wake up. That's what we live on.
No. That isn't a water level. Is that... Seriously, that's the best defense you've got for the water in a water level tube not being higher or lower at each end of that tube?
I mean, I can rip you up about the black part and the blue part in that picture after Bev's done with you.
Oh, I bet.
So
It shows a gradient.
So, which bit of the
Shows
water
gravity.
would you imagine as being higher than the other on that picture? Because it certainly looks like the bit at the top of that thing is higher than the bit at the bottom.
The water is level.
You said even. What do you mean by level?
No point higher than the other level.
But that bit at the top of the thing is much higher than the
You ever
bit
hear
at
of
the
sea
bottom.
level? You ever hear of sea level?
Yeah,
Is
mean sea level.
higher on one side?
Mean sea level. It's a horizontal datum.
It's all the same level.
It's
all
not.
the
It's
same.
a vertical change. It is a change in elevation from the mean sea level. Now you've got a thing that is vertical. So that would be a change in elevation, and that therefore would be a change in height. Oh, you've just orientated your picture the other way around now, have you? Yeah, nice. So what's that one, Brad?
Is that better?
He's just sort of like, well, like, are you gonna go? Well, it doesn't really matter. I'll just imagine it however I want anyway.
This was taken from a high altitude balloon.
Nice. Did you take it?
No, I didn't.
No. Who was it? Who was it? Who took it?
I'm really not sure.
Oh. Did you just find it on the internet?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Well, I don't know. It depends what you're trying to show us. If it's like a holiday picture.
I could have my 16-year-old make that in Photoshop in 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for
Might
you.
have done that anyway. Right, Brad?
Why is the sky black up there?
What?
The sky.
Yeah. In which one? Like, because they've coloured it that way?
Look at the hot spot on the sun. Look how close that sun is.
I'll let
Is that a flashlight or?
We're kind of getting off topic.
Yeah.
I know. Let's go back to level and horizontal.
Yeah.
Back with that.
Water levels curve around the surface of the earth.
Can you prove it?
Can you prove it?
Bev's going to prove it.
What?
No.
Water
Can
levels
you
curve?
prove it?
I could. I haven't yet. I've done a lot of tests, but not this one.
Oh.
That's
What
why I'm
kind
here.
of-
I'm curious
okay.
about this test.
So
He wants to come and see it. He's willing to spend like loads more than it would actually cost to do it where he lives.
yeah,
He's-
dude, go find me.
He wants to do
He
that
wants
and
to
then
see
come
it.
over here and see it over here.
I think
that's
Bev's going to pay for me.
a little bit weird. You do know that I'm a
No.
carer, right?
You can care for me.
No. I do have a family to look after, okay? That's why I'm a carer. Well, you know, we don't do any of that. You subscribe to Fight the Flat Earth. Why don't you get him to fund you coming over here?
Right now, he's not getting along with you.
He's not getting along with
You must have.
you. Is he?
No,
have you
with
upset him? What did you do?
No, I didn't. I think you did.
You think I upset him? Because he gets upset at people that say level is horizontal, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wouldn't fund anything for you. I know that.
It's not. He's
No,
not funding it
fund
for
you.
me, is he? He's funding you. You're the one that wants to come over.
Yeah, maybe MC Toon would.
MC Toon would what? I bet he'd take
Do like
some
a-
super chats and shit if you asked him. Do you sub to him as well?
No.
No, you're not a member to Toon.
Not yet.
I'm not a member, no.
No. Oh, but you do, like super chat. Whenever you feel like you wanting to insult people.
I don't think I've ever sent him a super chat.
No. I bet if he did a GoFundMe though, right? Is that what you were on about? He'd do a GoFundMe for you to come over. Or would he?
That's a good idea.
Would he do the test as well?
They should do a
'Cause, I
money
mean,
raising stream.
Why do you guys not
All
do
the money raised goes to you.
Why do you not do a do the test yourself? I mean,
I asked that question and they said we have.
they have. They've never done that test.
Like George has done that test. It was on a lake.
What was that? That was his refraction test, right?
Well, he accounted for refraction.
Yeah, no, that's what he was testing. That's what he said. He was just checking for refraction.
He wasn't checking for refraction. He eliminated that as a variable.
Did he measure
curve of the water?
Yes.
Yes, I think he
Hear that,
did.
Bev?
Oh.
Could you say that one more time, please?
curve.
Right, so are you saying that you are citing the nutsack as he's measured the curvature of the water level?
Well, I was talking to MC Toon, and he said, we've done it here. Not necessarily on a canal like you did, but similar tests have been done.
When he said we've done it.
Glovers.
Yeah, exactly though, but what we're after is a name of who you are going to cite as who has shown you, personally you, as evidence that they have measured the curvature of the water level.
I'll do a little research and see if I can find that. Offhand, I don't know.
See, gods,
Oh,
they're
man,
not
Wiki, that
confident.
guy.
You nearly had him.
Come
nutsack?
on, dude. Why did you back out?
Pull out.
No backbone.
He's trying to get the nutsack on the board. Brad.
I was looking at Slice Barkane's test. He did one.
What, the leaky one?
The results were just terrible.
Yeah, because it leaked like, well, he couldn't even find the leak.
The video I watched, it was night. I couldn't see nothing. I don't know what his results were.
He didn't do it at night.
Yeah, night.
Come on, no. He
Well, the
did it
video
in
I
the
watched
day. I mean,
was
you're
at
watching a
nighttime.
different video, though. I mean, that's Slice Barkane. You're making Slice Barkane look much worse than him. I mean, he just absolutely failed at the test, and it leaked all over the place. He didn't do it at night.
Well, the video I watched, it was at night. They were trying to finish up, and I'll have to watch all his videos.
You'll have to watch all of his videos.
Yeah.
Well, watch out. He's done a few about me, but I mean, just ignore them because he does make shit up. He gets
I'm sure he does.
proper triggered.
Just when you say who's measured the curve of the water level, like it sounds ridiculous. Even
Well,
asking that question.
Well, we do have a board going, you know. We've got so far Jesse Kozlowski, 3 people, Chike, Rumpus, and Fight the Flat Earth, have all said that Jesse measured the curvature. Jeff, the guy that calls himself the main surveyor on Twitter, Chikey, Sheeples Phoenix, Rumpus, Science It Out, and John the Troll on Twitter. 5. He's the main surveyor. He's the top guy. If you're after
that's the guy that with the
curvature,
with the,
yeah.
plumb lines.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, plumb lines not being vertical. Yeah, that's fantastic. Then Mac Toon has been cited right here.
That's quite a list.
Yeah, Funk and I don't even know that. Somebody else. Fight the Flat Earth also said Miles Davis has done the curve, even though that picture I've proved that there's no curve there. It's just all imagined. And
it's curved. That shows a curve 100%.
Which one? The Miles Davis one? The 210 meters?
Yeah. You're not going to say perspective, are you?
No, it's just
Nobody said
the
anything.
210 meters at eye level. That proves it's playing parallel, right? Yes. Your geometrical knowledge, you are like completely illiterate. You just make up geometry. So
No, that's your job.
no.
Well,
I
mean,
use
he
Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, get rid of Euclidean. Get rid of your old books and move on to current math.
He just demonstrated you don't know about geometry.
You know, we didn't stop with Euclid, right?
You have no.
No, you carried on. You carried on making shit up, Brad. That's all it is.
No, you're making shit up.
No, I use Euclid.
Move on from Euclid. Can you do that? Get ready.
Why, Brad?
That's what I was thinking. Why? Why would you?
Because you're thinking wrong.
No.
The wrong thing.
Yeah.
Brad, come on.
What's the? I mean, this is like, we're gonna say that line is straight, but yet it's actually curving in your mind. Is that what you want?
Reality.
No. Is that what you want?
Yeah. Reality. Lines can curve.
Lines can curve.
But they're not straight.
Euclidean geometry is like fucking ancient wisdom. Like, why would you want to get rid of that?
Move on. We've got better stuff. Why hold on to ancient crap?
So he can imagine things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, really? You're stuck in the past.
Dude.
No.
Brad.
You're trying to take logic out of this completely.
No, move on. Don't be stuck in the.
No. You want to say that a straight line curves, but yet it's still straight. Is that what you're saying?
It does curve.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
see, he's
curved.
been told by Fight the Flat Earth. You've paid him money, and he's told you to come over here, or did he? Has he give you a lesson to say that the new geometry, we're just going to curve straight lines?
Kind of like the equator. It's a straight line, but it goes around the Earth.
You realize they still teach Euclidean geometry, right? Like, they didn't just toss that shit.
It is the geometry of reality, Brad. That new geometry that you're talking about is for fantastical thinking in places beyond you'll ever get to. It's just out there thinking, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, every child that goes to school in America gets taught Euclidean geometry.
Triangles have 180 degrees,
I'm getting
right,
a picture
Brad?
for you.
Brad, triangles have 180 degrees internal angles, don't they? I mean, that's a provable fact. And if you make those lines bigger, the angles don't increase within a triangle has 180 degrees. Internal angles.
You ever hear of
always? Or the sum of two right angles.
You ever hear of that? You ever hear of spherical excess?
What's that?
Oh boy.
Incoming new word.
What? Sorry,
Yeah,
you're cutting out there, Brad.
A triangle on a sphere has more than 360 degrees.
It doesn't.
It's
have
called
straight,
spherical
doesn't
excess.
Have, yeah, it doesn't have straight sides, does it?
Curved.
Yeah. So that's not an angle, is it? Can you define an angle for us in this new geometry that you're using? Can you just define an angle for us? Because we need 3 of them, and you've got curved lines, right? So in your new geometry, can you just define us how to measure an angle between?
No, I'm not playing your word games.
Yeah, it's fancy word games with definitions again, yeah? I can't imagine what you're imagining, Brad.
I'm figuring out where to put the protractor.
Seems like quite long pauses.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a curved line. I got a protractor, right? I got these curved lines, and I don't know where to put the protractor.
See my picture?
Is the
Can you
curve
see my
line?
picture
The
I just
curve
put up?
line keeps moving away, though, Jeremy. Right?
That's what I mean. I don't.
Oh.
I got the protractor in my mind, and I don't know where to place it.
You see the picture I just
Where
put
do
in
you-
the chat?
Yeah.
All them lines are straight, but they curve around.
Nah,
the
they're curved. Look at them.
they're straight lines.
No, they're curved.
That's where you're
You
wrong.
got a straight. You have a straight line on the surface of a sphere.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I got one guy
Is
on my
that where
side.
No, that's I'm just
Nah.
stating your insane claim. So
Nah.
It's fight
I
the
don't think
flat
that-
Earth
No.
geometry.
Nah. It's reality.
It's fight the flat Earth geometry.
Nah.
Who's
Just
that?
deny. Deny.
Deny what?
Nah.
Sounds like
Dude, you can't have straight lines
that's
on the
what you're
surface
doing.
of a sphere.
Yeah, you can.
They're not. I mean,
You can lie to yourself if you want to. I mean, it's fine.
Right, we get this.
I don't. I can't write a
Assuming
straight line.
that
on the
we are on a
surface of
globe.
sphere.
No, you don't have to assume anything, but listen to the point. Assuming that we are on a globe, all right? Answer me this one question. Try
You're
thinking.
stuck thinking
Is
on a flat
non-Euclidean
plane.
geometry
There's no-
a
Oh, I
thing?
can
think-
Yes or no?
think
wait,
round.
Is it a thing?
Wait, I'm gonna think round
Yes.
for you.
Does it exist? Is it
do you
a
see the
branch
picture
of
you just posted?
mathematics?
It
Yep.
is a branch of
Yeah,
mathematics,
yeah.
yes.
The outside
Well,
bit
then
next
level
to the
can be
black
curved.
bit,
Does it
The straight
exist?
line
is that
can be
straight
curved.
or is that
Yes.
round?
What does that mean? In a mathematical sense, yeah.
All
I
right,
get
so
it.
are the
It
lines
can
that's going
exist.
around that, is that
Well, there we
straight
go.
or
Then, in a
round?
mathematical
Things
sense,
can.
a straight line can be curved.
You're talking
End
the
of discussion.
circumference of the circle?
Right.
No,
What you're
I'm
doing
asking,
is
are the
basically
lines
just trying to
straight
say I am
or
not
round?
allowed to calculate things on a sphere.
The black?
But
can't
to
hear?
do that,
No, I'm
we have
saying,
to use
look at-
to
I'm
do
not
that,
sure
we have
what
to
you're
use
asking.
non-Euclidean
Oh.
geometry, and that
Dude,
includes
the line's
taking
going
the fifth
around a ball,
postulate
man.
and
How
throwing
you
it out the
haven't-
fucking window because it
How do
doesn't
you say you
stand
have a
true
straight
when
line
you're
when
trying
it's
to
curving?
calculate 3D things.
Ah,
Yes, within
that-
2D
insane
geometry,
thinking.
within 2D
Right, so-
geometry, the fifth postulate
globe
absolutely
model.
stands true. But
It's just
it
a model.
doesn't stand true when you are trying
not
to do
reality.
anything outside of two
No,
dimensions.
it is
So if
reality.
you want to
You
calculate
understand
something on a
straight
sphere,
lines,
you need to
they
take
don't
that fifth
curve, though,
postulate
right?
and throw it
You
out
know
the
this,
window.
don't you?
Replace it with things like parallel
they
lines
do.
can intersect, parallel lines
Straight
can
lines do
intersect,
curve?
parallel lines can.
I've put a clip in the middle of there, Brad, about 1 minute 15 on that. I mean, Fight the Flat Earth talks about bending straight lines and all of that. But he shows you what he imagines with his geometry, which you're imagining the same. Now, he says, on the surface of a sphere, you have to throw out the fifth postulate because he imagines that's the only thing he has to throw out. It's not, but I mean, he imagines that because we're making up geometry, right? And he says you've got to throw that postulate out and replace it with parallel lines intersecting. And have a listen.
I'll listen to that.
At 1 minute
Parallel lines
15.
intersect in your geometry.
Yeah, it's
Are
the
you
first debate that I ever had with Fight the Flat Earth, and he
are
went.
you a
to,
Craig fan?
He went to.
Bev,
Pardon?
are you a Craig fan? Craig fan?
Fight the Flat Earth? No, I think he's a petty little man that has made a fictional thing about out of fighting a fictional group of people that he's bigoted towards and makes a living from people paying him money to insult these people that he's put in that group. Yeah, I think he's a despicable, horrible person. He's probably one of the worst people I've ever known. And he makes money out of it as well. People like you
So you're
give
not
him
a
money.
member? You're not a member then?
No, you're a member.
Yeah, you are. You support the man.
You're not though, Bev?
No, I'm definitely not.
just curious.
No, why would I be a member to somebody who has slandered me and accused me of committing horrible crimes? for saying
The child abuse thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not child abuse.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Like, level is horizontal is a provable fact.
At one point.
Well, is that at that point? Are you a child abuser as well? Then, to fight the flat Earth, have you told him that? You said, have you
No,
said
I'm not
at a point I'm a child abuser as well? Fight the flat Earth.
So
Here's some money.
My
gonna
children
claim
get
that-
an excellent education.
You're gonna claim straight lines Ben, and then that Bev's a child abuser. Like that's how you're gonna do it.
No, I said he's not.
Oh, all right.
But you
Like my
support him.
children, I make sure they get the best education.
Yeah.
I don't lock them into what my thinking.
No, neither do I. What
They
are
get
you
the best
talking about?
education that's possible.
Yeah.
It's not child abuse.
No, level being horizontal is also a provable fact. It's just some people think they think Euclidean geometry is called flat Earth geometry, and they think people who think level being horizontal are called flat earthers. I mean, it's fantastic thinking, but I mean, he does that, right? And you do it as well.
Hey, do you know what I believe? Level is horizontal at one point.
Okay, so at that point, are you a flat earther?
If you just stay on.
Well, and then at that point, you'd also be to Craig, flight the flat Earth. You would be a child abuser, wouldn't you? At that point,
You know what
where you think
you know
level
what I
is
believe?
horizontal.
You know what
I don't know. You can believe whatever you want, Brad. You don't have to tell us what you believe all the time.
Yeah.
As soon as you move to a different point,
Yep.
you have a different horizontal.
Oh, but at that point would level be horizontal?
At that point.
Yeah.
I got a song for that. And don't stop believing.
It seems like every point you move to, Brad, you're going to end up being a flat earther.
Oh, his mind is locked.
It's a bit of a tricky position, that, right, Brad? See, the thing you have to say is, if you want to go along with Fight the Flat Earth, level can't be horizontal. It just isn't, Brad. Not even at a point. Not and never. You can't ever be a flat earther. To Craig, he'd be going mad at you. Can you imagine what he'd be doing?
See my picture I just put in
Right
the
now,
chat?
if you can imagine if he was hearing this, what he'd be saying.
I think we'd agree. I think we would agree.
We would agree that he would be going off his cake at you saying that level is horizontal to me.
At a point.
Like you coming in here and saying level is horizontal. And level is the point, wherever level is horizontal, that would be the point that you're at, right?
I've got one for you.
Would it, Brad, would that, wherever the point level is horizontal, would that be the point where you are at?
You could say that.
Yeah. Okay, so everywhere where the point is, where you are at, level would be horizontal.
Is this point an actual spot on Earth, or?
It's a personal thing, right, Brad? It's personal to you, isn't it?
1 second.
It's just your
let me talk
personal
here.
point where level is horizontal.
I
That
was
you can
telling a guy
carry
yesterday-
around your little bit of flat earth around with you.
Hold on, I got a story for you.
You got a story?
I was telling a guy yesterday, imagine a basketball.
Yeah.
And you have a sheet of plywood. You lay it up against the basketball. That's your horizontal plane, the plywood. It touches the basketball in 1 point.
Yeah. Could you not just put it on the floor?
You could do that also.
Okay. So would that be horizontal if the floor was horizontal?
Yeah.
Right
The
now,
basketball
if
would
the
only touch the floor in
Yeah.
1 point.
Yeah, but if it was on an incline anywhere, the ball would roll.
It doesn't matter what direction it is.
Yeah. It
Up,
would go down
right,
to
left.
find. Could you say
just
find
has-
its level?
It has to be. It has to be what perpendicular to the.
What, the ball?
It doesn't matter if it's on top or the bottom,
ball,
on the right
so
side.
the
left
ball
side.
can't be perpendicular to anything, can it?
No, the horizontal plane.
The horizontal plane has to be what? Perpendicular to what?
Like the floor.
Like
That's your
vertical.
horizontal plane.
Yeah, and it has to be perpendicular to a vertical.
One vertical.
Yeah, but the whole floor would have a vertical. Like, you could put a vertical anywhere on the floor, couldn't you?
Yeah, but going into the basketball, it has one vertical that's horizontal, or that's perpendicular.
No, the ball. You can
To
get rid
create
of the
that
ball. You're
horizontal.
talking about the floor being horizontal, and a vertical coming off that horizontal anywhere along the floor. What do you need? You don't need a ball.
Yeah, but now you're switching it around. Start with the basketball.
It's just rolling
And
on
then-
a horizontal surface, right?
Hold the basketball in your hand and lay a sheet of plywood on top of the basketball.
Okay, balancing it right on top, so it's horizontal.
horizontal
Do we
plane.
put a level on it and make sure it's level, horizontal?
The plywood is your horizontal plane. It
Yeah.
touches the circle in one point.
Okay, but that horizontal plane has to be in the horizontal position, right? Otherwise, it's
That's
not
what
horizontal. It's just a plane then. Otherwise, isn't it?
That's what I envision. Is the
Can-
horizontal is a plane that just touches the circle in one point.
In the
Can I ask
horizontal
a-
position.
Would I be able to ask a quick question on this?
Sure.
When do we? Is that all right, Bev? Or I don't want to. Bev. Hello.
I'm in.
Go ahead,
Go
Gus.
for it.
Go ahead.
Okay. When do we experience that in reality?
Well, if you would walk outside and
Right.
create a horizontal line, that would
Right.
be your reality.
Okay, so is that horizontal line isn't touching, though, right?
You could if you laid on the ground, with your.
But we don't operate that way in reality, though, right?
You could.
But we don't.
You could.
But we don't.
But
I
you
could also be
could.
women. I could also
It's just-
be wearing women's underwear, but I'm not.
It's just what he envisions.
You might be.
It's just what he envisions. I mean, I'm envisioning $1 million out in my shed right now, so I hope that's there.
Okay, but to be.
But does that make sense?
But can you concede we don't operate that way? And I'll
No.
concede that we could. How about
Okay,
that?
let's agree on that.
Okay, so I'll concede we could, but you'll concede we never operate that way in reality.
Yeah, I don't lay on the ground.
Okay, perfect. Continue.
But does that kind of make how I think
What
about the
makes sense?
horizontal plane?
Makes sense that it's imaginary? Yeah.
It's not imaginary.
Well, it is.
Look at
Because
my
we don't operate that way.
last picture. That kind of explains it.
Yeah, but you've already conceded we don't operate that way, so it's imaginary.
Word games again.
No, not really. No, it's not word games at all. If there's
Yeah, you're
word-
breaking down my whole argument with one word.
imagination. that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's an imaginary.
No,
See how easy it is? Imagination.
it's reality.
I'm glad you can agree that I'm breaking down your whole argument with one word, and that would be imagination.
Word
Glad we can
games.
agree on that.
It's working.
12
You
cylinders
think it's-
there, God Scalpel. 12
Pardon
cylinders.
me?
Well,
I said
actually,
12 cylinders.
like
yeah,
it,
12 cylinders, buddy.
an argument is actually sort of a battle of words, right? It's who could construct the words and put them in the best way and to express a point and make an argument, right? So I suppose in a way, Brad, it is word games, right?
It's not fair because he says I don't lay on the ground to do this. Well, then it doesn't matter anymore. That's not the way it is.
No. Here's my point, Brad.
Yeah.
Maybe you missed it. I said we don't operate that way. See, in context, this conversation revolves around creating a horizontal plane in which to do practical work with. Right?
Yeah, like Bev's test.
Right. So you want to take it to an imaginary place, laying on the ground. We don't do that. We don't operate that way. But you seem to have missed my point.
I'm just trying to explain my point.
Well, I'm just trying to explain.
And you said I can't.
We want to practically do things in reality, in the real world. That's my point.
Can you look at my picture I put in chat last with the 3 different horizontals?
Yeah, I know what your picture is.
With the 3 different horizontals.
Did you draw that for everybody?
That's for Bev's test.
That's the vertical like a testicle picture.
Imagine the basketball again.
Well, see,
and
once
the
again,
3
the
horizontals
example is not the way we operate in reality.
No, you can't
So
say
there
that.
is no tangent. Huh?
It's just a thought experiment so you can understand what I'm talking about.
Okay, so why don't you take your basketball and take your piece of plywood and put it 2 or 3 inches above the basketball?
That's kind of what I'm showing.
Oh, is it?
It's not really touching, it's above because
when I heard you say it earlier, you said you wanted your piece of plywood to be laying on the basketball. And you're talking about tangents and shit.
Okay, now look at my picture.
So wait, before you continue with your picture, did I misunderstand your example earlier? You did say
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter now? So your example that you brought up, we could forget about it?
If you can understand it, move along.
Wait,
I don't want to
Can
talk to
we
you
forget
anymore.
about your example because it doesn't matter?
If you
Because it
can't
would be
understand it, I've been here with him.
If it's
gods, as
touching
well.
or if it's 1 inch above, it doesn't really matter.
It does.
Well, actually, I think it does matter.
Bev can't even get you to understand how the equipment operates, let alone showing you the test. You don't even understand how the test works.
And it does
No,
matter
Bev can't
if
understand that point A, B, and C all have their own horizontal.
Hold on, it does matter.
He needs to understand that.
Come on. It does
all of
matter
you
if
do.
the plywood's touching the ball or not.
Based on what?
Imagination.
His model.
Yeah.
If you can understand that each of them points have their own horizontal, then your test is not going to work.
I really
Sorry, like.
I really think,
No, wait a minute. Say that again, Brad, please.
I said if you can't understand that each point has its own horizontal, your test will not work because you won't plot out a horizontal line.
So
you don't know what a horizontal line is.
The test relies on our understanding of what?
A horizontal line. You said you were going to mark out a horizontal line. If you don't know what one is, it's not going to work.
Are you
so have you done this?
Surveyors don't know and can't do it, or what?
Don't think you understand what.
No, I do. I don't think you understand how we can have several different horizontals.
So is that imagine?
Yeah. Where do you demonstrate that, Brad? With your little
Get out of
drawing?
here. Get out of here.
Oh, okay.
Is that imagine?
I'm talking to Bev.
Wait. Get you to foresight and backside.
You're trying to derail the conversation with word games, and I'm not going for it. Yeah, you are.
You're using words that he doesn't like.
No, he doesn't like that.
Word games, they're called.
I'm not in his imagination. I'm sorry. I'm in reality.
Are you the Brad on Twitter?
Yeah. That's the Brad. Yeah.
Same Brad. Yeah. He's failing on both fronts.
Don't be asking questions and derailing the conversation. Please.
My bad. Sorry.
Horizontal is perpendicular to vertical, right, Brad?
Yeah, I agree to that.
Okay, that's That's what we know. We understand that.
And horizontal is level at a point.
Do you understand when you move on a curve, then all that changes?
What curve?
The curve of the Earth. If you were on a circle, it changes.
If
You're
you was
on
on
the
a
circle, I like it more and more.
Imagination.
So if you go over a mountain, your vertical and your horizontal are the same. That kind of curve.
I think he's
Long pauses again.
His phone was going, wasn't
I'm
it?
not going to answer that question.
Because you know I'm right.
No, I'm just not going to answer your questions.
Oh man.
Yeah, that
You're going to try to derail the conversation again. Oh, it's not reality.
your little drawing of a circle is not reality. That's what I told you earlier.
It is.
Prove it.
Bev,
I think your phone's cutting out there. I think were you trying to pass the baton there? Do the usual globe model lover sort of defence is always say that somebody you call a flat earther has proved it for you and refer to them.
I'm just curious. I hope you succeed.
Thank
It
you.
will.
Thank you.
You sound very sincere, Brad.
I like your confidence in us, Brad.
As they say, you can do the same thing just as well. Disprove it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You go do it.
I'd like to.
Get your funding from Fight the Flat Earth. He can fund you.
Maybe Nutsack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grab him.
Or guys for you.
Grab Nutsack.
He might be able to help you out too.
You know, Bev had a good point earlier, Brad. You could probably, you and George, like if George half the money, whatever it would cost to go to the UK, I'm pretty sure all of half of his amount would probably pay for you guys to do it someplace in the United States.
I brought that up to MC Toon, and he said it's been done already.
Yeah, I heard you say that too. I don't see any place where it's been done and documented like it's going to be done and documented.
No one's ever measured curve.
Yeah, this is pretty much original, this, Brad, as far as we know at the minute. They've either hidden it or this is completely original. Nobody's ever thought of this.
You know what they say they've measured curve, and you guys call it like
elevation,
drop, or
yeah,
something like that.
Call it elevation. Yeah, a change in elevation.
Word games.
Vertical. Changing the vertical
you don't believe
is
in
a change in elevation.
Brad?
Yeah.
No, what do they call it? Dip or something.
You don't believe in elevation?
Is Cleary in here?
Yes, sir.
Wait a second. Why do I ask you a question and you ask if Cleary's in here?
Yeah.
Do you need Cleary to answer the question for you?
He was the one that brought it up to
checking with Cleary.
I asked you a question. Do you believe in elevation or not?
I'm not answering that question. That's silly.
Answering that question.
A vertical change from your horizontal is elevation.
I think we all know what elevation is.
Yeah, we do.
I didn't ask if you. Well, hold on. I didn't ask if you knew what it was or if we all knew what it was. I said, do you believe in it? Come on.
That's not even a question. Come on, move along.
It was a question.
No. Ask it again. Ask it again.
No, I'm not going to answer it. Word games.
Why?
Really? How? Which is the word game? Believe or elevation? Or
okay, I'll answer it, and we'll see where it goes. I believe in elevation. What does that prove?
Well, that
it's
would
measured.
be the change. That's what you measure. Elevation change.
Agree to that, Brad.
I don't agree to that.
You don't agree that surveyors measure elevation changes.
Yeah, but if you add them all up,
Yeah, but that was an agreement,
it
right?
becomes a curve.
So
It
you just
becomes
can't
a
say
globe.
yes.
You said
Surveyors
yes.
measure change in elevation.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, adding elevation changes don't equal curvature. They're just adding elevation changes.
From the horizontal.
Yeah, there's no way to measure curvature from change in elevation without presupposing a ball.
No, still, even if you presuppose a ball, you cannot measure
still,
curvature.
Yeah, you're just presupposing the ball.
You've been listening to Nathan Oakley, haven't you?
No, actually.
No, we
Presupposition.
make this stuff up. He listens
You
to
presuppose.
us.
You assume a ball.
I can't stand that kind of
I don't
argument.
recall Nathan Oakley ever talking about this. So.
You live on a ball, right, Brad? You're standing on a ball right now, right?
Imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your daddy told you you're on a ball, and that's good enough for you, right? Right, Brad?
See what happened, Brad, is your daddy told you that Santa Claus remembered to tell you that Santa Claus wasn't real, but forgot to tell you about the ball.
I bet he didn't get told Santa Claus wasn't real. I bet he had to work that out for himself.
Or maybe just now. Maybe
well, he's still going to
first
work out the globe model.
I got a picture for that one.
So now it's time to attack me? Is that
No,
where we're going with
Brad,
this?
what I'm saying is, rather than believe hearsay that you are standing on a ball, you have nothing else besides the words of someone, right? That you're on a ball.
I have everything. The body of knowledge, everything put
The
together.
body of knowledge. Is that like a dead corpse or what? What body of knowledge?
It's everything. Everywhere you go. Books, school, internet, everywhere.
But you are here because you cannot prove it, and it makes you angry. You feel like we are a threat to you because we know what horizontal is.
No, you're no threat to me.
You're scared to death. You're obsessed with us.
I'm trying to figure out how your minds work.
Level is horizontal. Write it down 300 times.
At a point.
I think you're doing a good job, Brad, of helping us show people how the model can completely conflict with you and make you imagine that you're trying to come in here to work out how our heads work. But I mean, that's not what's happening in the truth, and other people are finding out now. You're doing a good job. You're helping us out.
Yeah, we do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Prove to me that you're on a ball. You can't. Why is that?
Give me 1 second.
Time's up.
Go back to my next point.
We got some help in there. Swap the help.
Call in. Getting a call, I guess.
Hey, debate, discussions.
Did you guys watch a fight tonight? Because you guys are up late.
Yeah, I know.
We were trying to watch it. Santa Claus came in. He had to beat it out of his head.
I watched Alabama kick some ass.
This is
don't bring up Alabama.
The Brad and Bev steel cage match. Brad came in here and said he wanted to challenge Bev to a steel cage match. That's what he said. For real, yo.
Yeah.
Redmond, we're playing you next week in Georgia, Alabama. Go ahead, Brad.
I said 1-on-1, me, Bev, and his whiteboard. We'll draw it out.
You want to draw a circle?
That's two
again.
against one. It's me and the whiteboard, a bit unbeatable, right?
There's my proof we live on a globe.
Wow, that's a curvy ball.
Yeah.
How far away is that?
Did Jem Panda give you that one?
It was a picture of a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico just about 2 months ago.
So that hurricane encompasses what, 20% of the globe surface? Wow, that's a big hurricane,
Well,
man.
no, I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say that, but look at it, dude. It's really, really. Oh wait, that's a different shape there.
I got Santa Claus on mine.
Hey, there's Santa.
Now
must,
you know the ISS is real.
Yeah.
is that the North Pole?
I got Santa Claus on mine. If you like it,
Yeah.
you can take it with you.
Yeah, the shadows are all wrong on that one. You can tell. That bottom picture there, the shadows. It's definitely not real. That one.
So Bev,
Yeah.
tomorrow, me, you, and the whiteboard.
Yeah,
Again?
yeah. What sort of time do you want to go for? Because I'll have to take my
I don't
lad
know.
back home. So
I'll Twitter you.
He
Okay,
wants to
okay.
tango
Okay.
with the Bev.
We'll go over the models, right, and the contradictions that you have, especially with your model against
I
the
don't
other
have
two.
any contradictions.
Oh, you don't think you have them, but I'll show you them tomorrow. Well, I'll show you exactly
I'm
where
sure
your
you will.
contradictions
With
lie.
your antiquated geometry.
Antiquated, yeah. Okay, you bring your fight the flat Earth geometry with you, and make sure you've got all the your definitions and the axioms and all of that you can refer to, and I'll refer to mine, and we'll match each other proof for proof, right?
Sounds good.
Sweet.
You got any questions for me?
Would you tell a teacher that that's antiquated geometry?
I would not.
I got a question for you, Brad. Do you have an open mind, or are you just Brad? Are you
I would
there?
call it open.
You have an open mind, so
Yeah.
you're not defending the globe, are you?
Well, to an extent.
You're defending the globe, so you don't have an open mind. Do you want to live on a ball, or do you care either way?
I just know we are.
You just know that we are based on nothing, based on this photograph, this fake ass photograph. Right?
That's just one piece of the puzzle.
I think mine look better.
Do you think, Brad, that I could recreate this fake ass photograph and put Santa Claus on it?
Yeah, probably.
Like, okay, well then look at the next photo. Right? That's fake. Why lie to yourself? Why not tell yourself the truth? That's not real. That's fake.
It's real.
You want it to be real because you defend the globe. Are you like self-identifying with the globe, or do you feel like if you realize that you were on a horizontal plane that would be a bad thing somehow? You'd be injured mentally.
He gives Fight the Flat Earth money. He'd get kicked out. He wouldn't be allowed to be in that crew.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah.
To tell the truth, when I was young, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to.
Okay, well, you're not a child
That was
anymore,
my dream.
so you could just grow up and be a man now. You're not a child anymore.
And nothing's changed. I don't believe the Earth has changed. I still believe it's a ball. You can't tell me anything to sway my mind the other way.
So we can't tell you anything to sway your mind the other way. You're closed-minded.
I don't think you have enough evidence to switch me. No, give me one good proof the Earth is flat.
So you are in fact here to defend your dream from a childhood.
That's it.
Not with an open mind.
Exactly.
I guess to an extent.
To a 100% extent.
Yeah. And that's fine. Whatever. But,
hey, at least you're being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I just don't believe there's anything you could tell me that would convince me otherwise.
I got one thing to say. I wouldn't care if you believe me or not.
That's good. I don't really care either the other way. You know, you guys believe what you want to believe. I'm here just to figure out how can you believe that? You know,
we don't believe
like Bev,
what we want to believe.
Bev is really good with math and geometry. You think he'd be able to figure out reality? How is it in
No,
his mind that he
I
can
have.
go,
I would
this and this
argue
adds up
he
to
is
this and
figuring
it's
out
flat?
reality. Come on. I would argue he is figuring out reality. And he's also opened other people's eyes into how to figure out reality for themselves. That would be my argument.
I guess I believe he's wrong somewhere. Something's wrong and he's not
You
doing
say
something
believe.
right. Like,
You say believe every sentence. Believe, believe, believe. You know?
I'm not 100% positive.
Which
Maybe I'm
out of
wrong. Maybe I
this
am wrong.
lineup,
I don't know.
out of this lineup here, which of these is the real one?
I'd say all of them.
Why do you lie to yourself, Brad?
I
Why do you
don't.
do
You
that?
didn't look very hard at the lineup, did you, Brad?
Why do you lie to you? If you can't trust yourself, who can you trust? Maybe that's why you don't trust us. What good does it do to lie to yourself? Look at that. Which one's real? All of them?
Do you know what? Do you know what that little thing above them is? It's called that. That's Euclid. That you know.
Oh, really?
Which one isn't
Yeah.
real? How about that?
Well, none
Can
of
you
them
tell
are.
me that?
Making a mockery of
No, they all are.
Euclid.
If you want to believe that, Brad, really, you're still a child who wants to be an astronaut.
That's me, I guess.
Grow up, son.
They are astronauts, aren't they? And every time you look at that picture, is your boyhood dream fulfilled? Do you turn into that little astronaut looking down and going, "Ooh, it's a long way away"?
Did you hear they're thinking about going to Mars?
They were thinking about it.
I'm thinking about
Have you-
being a millionaire.
Have you thought about it as well, Brad? Have you thought about
I'm
them going
too
to
old.
Mars? Yeah, I know,
Brad,
but I
did
mean,
you-
have you thought about it?
I've been
Yeah.
thinking about going to Narnia.
So you think about going to Mars.
If I was young again, I'd want to go to Mars.
So you're imagining that you could walk hand in hand with Elon Musk on the surface of Mars.
That's my dream.
That is your dream. You live in a dream world.
Here's the problem: is Euclid is attacking his dream.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Euclid-
reality's coming and knocking on the door, isn't it?
I guess that's why I'm here. Is how can you prove that the Earth is flat? We don't live on a globe.
We don't.
Something's
No, it's not
wrong.
flat.
Something's wrong with that math.
Brad, we can
not flat.
prove the Earth isn't flat. It's three-dimensional. There is a change in elevation.
Yeah, elevation. I know that.
It's all about that, Brad. All
Okay,
about
say
it.
this. Repeat after me. Level is horizontal at one point.
How can anything be horizontal to a point?
You don't understand how a
At
water
one
level
point-
works, Brad.
So you got a dot and a line, and you call that what?
A dot and a line?
Yeah.
Would
You
be
got
a
a
line?
point.
A water level, Brad,
Yeah,
exposes
how can a
this.
point
Can
be
you not see
horizontally?
this?
No, a water level makes a level.
No,
It doesn't
the
make a
two,
horizontal.
the two ends are neither higher nor lower than each other. They are
Doesn't it make a
level.
Doesn't it make a horizontal plane?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Does a plane wrap around a circle?
No,
What circle?
no, it doesn't, Brad. It
If the
doesn't.
Earth was
No,
a circle,
a
the plane would
plane,
not
and
wrap
the
around
water level establishes a plane, and that plane is a
No, it doesn't.
two-dimensional,
No, it doesn't.
and it doesn't wrap
It doesn't.
around
No, it doesn't.
a ball.
Level is not a plane.
Yeah, a water level establishes a horizontal plane of reference. That's because neither point at each end of the water level is higher or lower than the other end of the water level. That it is level, Brad.
Yeah, level and horizontal are different.
No, they're exactly the same.
No, they're not. That's where we're.
This is where your model
out.
is clouding your view of reality, Brad.
That's right.
Quite obviously.
I think when it comes down to it, I believe level curves.
I believe.
And you don't.
I can prove it doesn't. I prove it's horizontal.
Let me ask this, Brad.
At one point, it's
Brad,
horizontal.
Brad, is it possible for a surveyor to transfer a horizontal from point A to point B a mile down the road?
Yeah.
Regardless of the shape? It's possible?
Yes.
Okay. So if you take a mile long water level, right? The tool, and you compare it to the horizontal that's been made by surveyors and just see what happens, what's the flaw in that procedure? Do you have a problem with that procedure?
There's no flaw, no.
Okay, perfect.
That's what
That's great. That's what
and
I was wondering. So we'll see what
I
happens.
came up with a hypothesis. My hypothesis was either flat, the water won't drop away, or the water will drop away from the horizontal.
Well, wait a second. It's not about the shape of the land, Brad. It's about, is water level?
No. If it was on a hill.
Hold on. It
God
has
dang
nothing to do with the shape of the land. The question we're asking is water level horizontal? That's the question, not what is the shape of the land.
At a point.
Come on. No point. 1 mile.
Brad, draw that. Will you draw that horizontal at a point for me, will you?
He already conceded earlier you can't level a point. Now he's saying it again.
There you go. There's my graphic representation.
Well, that's the same old shit drawing. That's on a point.
That's Bev's test.
Okay, I just got one more question for
Well,
Brad.
that's your idea of my test, right?
Hypothesis for a curve.
Brad, do you think it's possible to establish a horizontal for a mile using an optical level as a tool to establish that horizontal?
I don't know much about an optical level. Can you see a mile with that optical level?
No, that's
not a
not
one
the way
shot.
they do it. They do it through differential leveling.
It's an auto level. It's not a one-shot deal.
He can't understand the equipment.
Yeah, I'm not a surveyor. I couldn't tell you how they would establish
but you
a
would
horizontal
trust a
line.
surveyor could then, at least, if I leave it simple that way.
Sure. If you told him to just create a horizontal plane of reference, yeah.
Okay. And so do you believe that do you have any problems with that method? Create a horizontal plane, compare it to, for over a mile, compare the 1 mile water level to it and see what happens. If it's level with the plane, both ends, then the water level is horizontal. If there's a drop, then there's a differential on the water level from one end to the other.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've been saying all along.
Okay, well, I guess we'll wait. And to you, that means if there's no difference, the world's flat. And if there is a difference, it's a ball. Is that what it means to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
and
okay.
I think Bev said if there is a drop, he's going to tell everybody the Earth is a ball.
What about when you turn the equipment back around and go the other way?
Yeah, I don't know what Bev said.
It doesn't work that way though. You can't just turn it around and go back the other way.
Yeah, of course you can. That's exactly how you do. In fact,
No.
when you do leveling,
You're leveling then.
Yeah, you have
That's
to go.
leveling.
You have to go all
That's
the way
leveling.
back to check.
But that's.
Wait a second, Brad. On one hand, you said you had no clue about this equipment. Now you're going to start schooling people on how it works?
Well, I just know if you get to the end, you can't just turn around.
Oh,
Yeah,
here's
you
Why
have
not?
to. You have to close the loop, Brad.
No,
Yes, don't say no.
you're
Because you
talking
just
about
admitted
leveling.
you don't know anything about what you're talking about. You don't
No,
know
but
anything
a
about it,
horizontal
so
plane,
you have to
a horizontal
close
plane.
your loop, Brad.
When you get to C, it won't
Mhm.
work. You'll be at a different. You can't just turn
Oh,
around.
well, so what will happen if you follow a horizontal from C back to A? Will you be higher than you were when you started at A?
I don't know how you would get that angle if you would sight back from C to A.
You know, horizontal is like not up or down, right?
No, it'll go up. It won't be.
Well,
So when you go
horizontal
back,
is
you're
up.
going to go up.
How is that perpendicular to vertical?
Look at my picture. It shows.
It shows the horizontal line going across from left to right.
It goes
Can you
up.
draw it? Can you draw it going back the other way on top of that?
No, it doesn't go up. The horizontal line is horizontal.
It goes up. It falls away from the ground.
So you're measuring an elevation drop.
No, it's not elevation drop.
How would you determine whether you're measuring an elevation drop or a curve? Because you want one or the other?
Can I talk?
I think you can. You're a grown
Okay.
man with an
Okay.
imagination. Yeah.
If it was, say, it's an elevation drop. If you were on a hill, the water would pour out of the end.
He said from the ground.
It's not going to pour out of the end. All the levels will be level, but there will be a drop.
Yeah, we're
If
doing
it
it
was
at the side of a
elevation
canal,
change,
right?
the water would pour out.
We're doing it at the side of a canal, right?
Yeah, and I was telling MC2, you don't even need them water levels. Couldn't you just go off the water in the canal? It'd be the same thing. Throw all your hose in the canal.
It's
the same
27
thing.
miles, the canal, right, without locks.
I could do this test without any water levels.
You know, like, have you ever seen Dave Rakier's bridge? Somebody else took a picture of it, and it's about 23 miles. Jesse Kozlowski drove over it. You know, Jesse that has the Kozlowski nutsack drop model, where everything drops away from you. Well, he drove over that bridge with a thing on the roof of his car, and it plotted all of them points, and they were all 5.8 meters all the way across, near enough, apart from the couple of bridges and the humps where it goes up and down a bit more, you know, rising elevation.
It showed
all the way across, right?
It showed good earth curve, right?
Yeah, well, he gave all of them to Walter. This is why we have the McToom Walter Bislin model, the hump. Because
I've seen that
Walter,
video.
yeah, Walter came
I'm
and
sure you have,
he
Brad.
gave him that thing, and in the middle of that Dave's bridge, right, there was a 28.5 meter hump in the middle, so that it rose from the edge to the middle.
The bridge goes up so ships can go under.
Walter made a model. That's why there's that 28.5 meter hump is the water level in Walter's model. So Jesse has the model where the water level drops away from the horizontal, but when he gives Walter his coordinates, Walter makes a model that puts the hump there in the middle, which is a rise, right? That's not a drop. So Jesse's conflicted just as much as you are, but you have both of the models together.
Yeah, everybody's imagination is different.
If you have a model.
Yeah,
Especially
we don't
if
have
you
a model to defend.
Yeah.
We're not concerned with defending anything. We don't lie. We wouldn't misrepresent anything.
I'm sending another picture in. Give it a second to load up.
Is it in real life or imagination?
Imagination.
Wow.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen
Okay,
this one on Twitter.
Look at line AC.
AC.
There's a hump. There's a hump in the middle.
Is there a line AC?
I guess it's that bottom
AC.
You've
little.
got A at
Oh,
the
I see
top
it.
and
I
then
see it.
C. What?
I
It's
see
Yeah,
it.
AC.
Oh, right. Man, what the hell are you? Yeah, you've joined a
See how there's
chord. A
yeah, there you go.
chord. Is that what
There's
we
a
call
hump
it?
in the middle.
Yeah.
See the hump in the middle?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a raise from each of the ends where A C is. Yeah, that's not a drop, is it? See, that's the conflict that you have within your model. That would be that AC AC would be the water level. Right? The two ends of your water level, and you have a hump in that model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you don't have a hump. You have a drop of 8 inches, not a hump in the middle.
if you start at A,
Two different models. Yeah. If you start at A,
look at A. You have a horizontal at A. Every point drops away from that.
yeah, no. If you have a water level, you'll have a point at one end of AC, call it A end, and you would have another end of the water level at the point where AC is, where it's point C. So they're your two water level ends. Now, if they were horizontal, right, there'd be no end would be higher than the other.
Not horizontal if they were level.
No drop, though, would there? I mean, where are you imagining the drop along that line? If that's your water level. No, it's a water level, the tool. It's just a tube. And you've got one end at one end of that line and the other one at the other end of the line.
Yeah, and they're level.
The water within that tube is equalised out to be a level. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not calling it anything. The water has a level at each end of the tube, right? I'm not doing anything special to it at all.
But if you look at my picture, horizontal line A, the level would drop away from A.
That's a circle. Why are you calling any of them horizontal? They're just lines.
But I put a box in there to represent a 90-degree
a right angle.
So
yeah, that's what happens
A would
to
be
a tangent.
horizontal.
Yeah.
No,
A would be vertical.
A is perpendicular to the radius. It's not horizontal to the circle.
Yeah.
It's horizontal to
No,
A.
it's not. No,
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it's not.
Is A vertical?
No. It's an extension of
Yeah,
a
it
radius of a circle.
A. I have two A's. The one A is
perpendicular to A. A is vertical. A is horizontal, and neither one.
So A is. It's not that hard.
You're breaking up, Brad. We can't hear what you're saying. Keep your finger on the button a little bit longer, please.
It's not that hard.
What's not that hard?
A is horizontal.
No.
Yes.
No. One of those A's...
Tell me why it's not.
One of those A's is the extension of a radius, and the other A is a tangent to
perpendicular.
That.
The horizontal of A.
Pardon? There's no
It would
horizontal.
be the horizontal.
No. There's no horizontal
not be?
there.
It is.
No. A horizontal is a position where no point at each end of the line is higher or lower than the other.
No, that's level.
Horizontal. That's where you're mistaken, because they're the same.
I'm not mistaken.
Thing.
It's not the same thing.
It is.
You're wrong.
It is. A plumb bob
In your
is
mind,
a
it
tool.
is.
No, a plumb bob is a tool that establishes a vertical. That's in reality.
Yeah, I think
not on a
we all
piece of
know
paper.
that.
Not on a piece of paper.
A plumb bob
yeah,
would create a vertical on A.
It wouldn't.
It's not my.
A plumb
That's not
bob would
my.
hang vertical from A,
That's not my
and
argument.
it wouldn't go at that angle, because that angle would have to be measured from either the vertical or the horizontal, the angle that it is at. It's pretty simple, really, right? Your baseline, you normally start it off as a 0 on
You
a
need to
circle
think
at
in
the top.
3D.
I need to think in 3D.
Yeah, when you're on a circle, it changes.
You need to
Brad.
think in realistic
I got a
geometrical
question.
terms.
Hang
Is
on, Brad.
A-
Brad, do you live on this drawing?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
I had a question.
Are you sure, Brad?
Is A, B, and C all verticals?
No. No.
Yes, it is. It is.
No, it's not.
They
No.
are. They're vertical.
No, they're extensions of a radius of a circle.
That's what they are.
At each point, they're vertical.
What, at each point?
That's
what,
where you're
what
wrong.
do you mean by
See,
a point, Brad?
I can't believe you can't get this.
Oh, well, you imagine this.
You
but
can't
it's not
believe.
Okay, the lines are radiuses from the center of the circle.
True. That's
right?
it. Period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where they meet the outside of the circle, they're vertical.
No. It's just an extension of that
Yes.
radius.
They're vertical.
You think A is vertical? You think B is vertical? It's not even vertical.
Yeah, A is vertical, B is vertical, and C is vertical.
Dude.
Thanks
Maybe,
for coming, Brad.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
I can't believe you don't know this.
Is this Fight the Flat Earth geometry school? Is that where you've taught it, or have you once again just imagined that is what you have to happen?
It's reality.
Yeah. Have you been taught that, or is just that something that you imagine must happen?
A little bit of both, I guess.
Okay. Who taught you which bit of this about vertical and horizontal?
I learned from you.
You learned.
Yeah, no, not too many people learn from you, right?
You learn to draw lines on circles and label or imagine them as being vertical and horizontal from me.
It's a good one, right? Now is when you laugh.
Can you tell me where you learnt that from, please? Or once again, is that another one of your imaginings? Or that somebody told you? Because I have heard there's a few people going around. I think one of them's called WS. And he goes around saying that I've done things that I haven't. I don't even know what he's talking about anymore. It wouldn't be WS telling you that I've proved things and done things that I definitely haven't. Because you just made that up then. Or has somebody told you that I've done that?
I was just making a joke. I learned from teachers. I've learned my entire life. I just know these things.
That a vertical is an extension of a radius.
Yeah. Go ask one of your teachers. Tell them what your claim is here.
I'll share this around tomorrow, and we'll see if we can come on a consensus if A, B, and C are vertical.
Brilliant. Yes,
I'll share it around.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
And I'll
Brad.
tell them Bev doesn't think they are.
Well, I will
Thank you.
say that one of your A's, your line is still not straight, so it's not a horizontal.
Yeah, that's not even horizontal.
It's hand drawn. It's not.
Dang.
You know, if you put a protractor, it might not be totally 90 degrees.
But see, you're claiming that it's horizontal or parallel to a circle.
Sure, I put that box on there just to represent a 90-degree angle.
Yeah. So it's just a belief.
Is it really 90 degrees? I didn't put a protractor on it. I just drew it.
Yeah. So it's just a belief, right? You want to believe in it.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Well, have a good
If
day.
it's
We'll see you tomorrow.
if
Come
it's
on back.
91 degrees, if it's 92 degrees, it's not going to really change.
It's not
So
going to be
kill is not
horizontal,
important.
though, is it?
I could do it on a computer program, but I just like to draw things on paper and pen.
Yeah.
Imagination stuff.
I quite
All right.
like doing.
My bad, Bev.
It's all right.
Any questions before I go? Anybody want to ask me anything?
No. See you tomorrow.
Wait a minute. Just before you go, look, check this. I did this 9 months ago. It's a video. It's only 30 odd seconds long.
Well, thanks a lot for sharing, you guys.
You have a look at that. I mean, I know it's probably got the lies that control us, but I mean that was an old server.
I'll look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad, one quick question before you leave. Do you feel like you'll learn something here, or do you feel like you're here to teach something?
No, I'm learning a lot. I haven't used this stuff for 30 years in school, and it's been a long time. But I learn every day. It's kind of why I'm here. I'm trying to learn how you guys think, and I want you to learn how I think, and maybe we can share ideas. I don't want to attack your beliefs. I don't want you to attack me.
Not a belief.
I don't have any beliefs.
Well, your standings or your ideas.
Reality.
I'm here to be civil and just have a good conversation with you.
Yeah. Live in reality.
But you said there was nothing anyone can tell you to make you believe that you don't live on a ball.
I don't think there's anything you could tell me that would change my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me one. Tell me a great big one. It's like, wow, I never thought of it.
Ready? Water is horizontal.
Really? That's all you got?
That's it.
Yeah. Level is horizontal. Brilliant, isn't it?
At a point. You always forget the ending. At a point.
Draw that for
What
me.
do you mean that? Yeah, exactly.
I did. It's in the picture right above.
You see that that thing I just give you a video in there? It's only 30 odd seconds long. It's called Perpendiculars with Euclidean Geometry, and it shows you how to do that with the compass and ruler.
I'll look at it. Look at it. I'm down to about 3%. I'm going to die here in just a minute. See my picture up above?
Go ahead and get your study on. Go ahead and get your study on.
A is horizontal. A is horizontal only at one point on that circle.
Next time you come as well with lines, can you label the end points and then we can talk about them like a A-B line? A-B, C-D.
Please find me a definition of a horizontal on a circle. I would love to see that.
Okay, horizontal on a circle and a definition of point. I like the word point.
A definition of a straight line too, please. I like to hear it.
Straight line and straight line that curves.
Yeah, within your new geometry and the axioms as well, if you can. The definitions. Give us all the definitions within it, and then we can have a look at the geometry that you're using.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to go. It's getting late. I got to plug my stuff back in. I'm about ready to die, so.
Try to remember horizontal.
Straight lines.
Try to find that definition. I can't hear you, man.
Yeah.
Good night.
See you later. Nice having you. Helping us explain to people. Some of the videos that we've done with Brad have been quite good, haven't they?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
A child who imagines being an astronaut.
Mm.